Hey guys, great day. This is Mike here. Hope you're doing great and hope you're doing fantastic today. So today I want to talk to you about 10 steps to achieving 100 plus transactions a year. Listen guys, it's extremely possible for anybody to do this if they put their mind to it, have a system and a plan to make it happen. You just have to understand that you can do this and you have to believe in yourself enough to say, you know what, if I want to do this, can I do this? And the answer is yes, you can. And it takes time, it takes work. We'll talk about that here in a couple of quick minutes. But at the end of the day, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. It requires a thought, a desire, a plan, a commitment, a decision that you want to do this, and you work your way through this whole process. And you have to think about, what do I need to do to make this happen? And the foundation of all of this fundamentally revolves around a system and an organized approach to getting this done. So I'm going to give you today some fundamentals, because the fundamentals are always going to be key. I get the calls, and I know you guys do it yourself, that you want to know, okay, how can I do this online and how can I get away from offline? Listen, you must understand that the fundamentals are consistently across the board. I'll be honest with you, if you can't do an offline transaction because you don't have the skill sets, the ability to generate business, to follow up with it, to qualify it, to present to it, to handle objections, handle closes, etc., then what compels you to believe that you could ever possibly know that what you're going to do is go out there and achieve success online? At the end of the day, we must speak to people, and we have to have the skills to do that. And either way, you can do both. I believe you can do both, and I believe you should do both. I believe you should be present online, and you must do that, and you must be present offline, because that's where we build our skill set. So let's focus in on the fundamentals here, guys, and you can apply this anywhere, online or offline, whatever you want to do. So take out a notepad, let's get into this, get your pen, make sure it writes, and let's talk about the 10 steps to achieving 100 plus transactions a year. First and foremost, you got to master your database. You got to get this down, guys. Your database, you've heard me say this before, and if you haven't, well, here it is for the first time for you. You must master your database, meaning that you must understand your centers of influence, spheres of influence, your past clients, etc. You must have a clean database. Your database is your largest asset, and you got to figure out a way to communicate with it consistently and keep it up to date. That way you can continually build your business. Ultimately, you want to get to a point where 70 to 80% of your business is repeat and referral business, and it's extremely possible. So let's talk about what we can do to remembering that the source of your business comes from referrals from your SOI, your sphere of influence, and past clients. There should be an inherent conversation going on with these folks, so that way you can keep your business moving forward. Step number 2 is master generating leads a minimum of 3 hours a day. The question always comes up, Mike, where do I find the time to do 3 hours a day? Folks, it is extremely possible to do it. And if you're in the business of wanting to build a business, build an operation that throws off profit and cash flow and gives you the freedom of time and money in your business, then you got to master this process. It's not overly complicated. It's a matter of writing it down, having a goal and objective. Now, does that mean you have to sit there for full 3 hours and be on the phone? Hey, you certainly can. Personally, I'm going to recommend that you break it up. Do a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the afternoon. You should be talking to people all day long who want to buy, who want to sell, who want to invest, who want to do something within the framework of your industry. In this case, we're talking about real estate, so there's opportunity out there. But you got to master this process, because really we have to talk to people, whether again it's online or offline. You might think, well, Mike, I can do some online lead generation, and basically what you're doing is sitting there waiting for the phone to ring. While you're waiting for the phone to ring, you should be making outbound calls or knocking on doors or following up with your database. Whatever the case might be, mastering this process is critically important. Which then leads me to point number 3, is that you got to master your follow-up. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, never forget that your follow-up is key. Remembering that 80 to 90% of your appointments come from following up with people. Sure, we wish that we could talk to one person one time and do what we call a one-call close, and they say, where do I sign? And email it to me, I'll get it back to you. Listen, could that happen in occasions? Yeah, occasionally could happen, but that's not what we need to put our hat on. We need to hang our hat around the idea that we've got to follow up with people. Once you've generated leads, once you've generated an interest, then you got to set up systems for follow-up. And then you got to use the philosophy of the 7-30-60-90 rule, which basically says who's going to do something in the next 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or beyond. And then you got to determine what you need to do to nurture that opportunity as you progress with your leads. Key guys here, point about this is follow-up is critical. So you've generated business, you've followed up with business, they said they want to go to the next step because you had some opportunity and discussion, now you got to qualify them. Listen, I know these things, Mike, you talk about this all the time, back and forth, everything is repetition. Yes, it is. It's the mother of skill. Talk about that in a minute. However, point number 4 is master qualifying 100% of every presentation. This is a critical area. I sent out a recording a few days ago talking about qualifying and discussing that whole process. So make sure you watch that video. It gives you some great points to think about when you're doing your business. But you're selling people on the opportunity. But you got to know what you're selling them on. What is it that you're going to direct your conversations to? And the only way you're going to do this is by asking pertinent questions that relates to their problems and desires, wants and needs, and it enables you to really deliver great presentations and master your time. So when you're working with sellers, buyers, investors, dig deep, guys. Go down into their heart and soul, and you're going to win big time. So master qualifying. So you found them, you followed up with them, you qualified them, now you got to present to them. Making sure this is a fundamental, again, online, offline, I don't care where the business comes from, you got to make sure that you're presenting in a way that causes people to want to do business with you, and it helps you to make a decision that you want to do business with them as well. So you got to master your presentation. What structure do you need for your sellers, for your buyers, and your investors when you're working with these folks? Very simple, not complicated, but this is a fundamental that you must master is your presentations. So you have them, you're in front of them. Now you have to handle objections, whether it's on the phone to set an appointment or face-to-face when you're doing your presentations. But you have to master handling objections, closes, and negotiations. Negotiations is one area that is either before, during, or after, meaning that you've signed a contract and now you're negotiating a sale of a property. This doesn't stop there. You have other negotiations. You're negotiating schedules, you're negotiating your fees, you're negotiating what you're going to do to help sell the property, you're negotiating showing instructions. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that need to be articulated here, and negotiations in that area is very critical. Guys, anybody doing 100 transactions a year or more understands these facilities. Mastering handling objections and closes, you got to be able to respond efficiently and effectively, and then you got to be able to close people for signatures. You got to get them to the next step, and that's what this is all about. So master handling objections, closes, and your negotiating processes. Okay, so I'm going to talk about it here, which is point number 7. That is mastering your online presence. Sure, there's companies out there that can help you achieve this goal. If you have budgets in place that you're able to bring on somebody on your team to help you set up your online presence, perfectly fine, no problem with that. If you're not good at it, then get somebody else to do it. If you don't have the money for it, then you're going to have to do it organically until such time as you have the capital and wherewithal to get yourself online presence, get yourself online with your presence. Listen, I need you to be there. I need you to be out there in front of people because 1, you have access to everybody in the world when you do this. 2, your market is online. They're looking, they're searching, they're evaluating everything online. This is just before they're going to make a decision through their buying cycle, their buying process, right? So if you can master online, you're going to push yourself to the next level of production. Listen, you got people coming in, you got people going out, you got inbound, you got outbound marketing, and your online presence is very critical. Let's get that mastered and let's begin working on that today. Oh yes, and I'm not going to forget, point number 8 is that master the skill of practice. Listen, you're always in practice. Do you want to get good at what you do? Do you want to stand out in front of everybody else? You have to separate yourself from the average people that you're competing with in the marketplace, because your market is looking at you, your clients, the potential buyers, sellers, and investors are going, how good is this person at mastering at their skills, right? Because they want to see, key guys, they want to see if you're able to close them and sell them on your value and your option, your opportunity, then they're going to say, you know what, I know this person is going to help me, whether it's to sell my property, to negotiate a great investment, or to negotiate a great purchase for myself. They want to see is this person really good at what they do? 1. 2, you know this as much as anybody, that mastering skills helps you to develop the confidence that you need. I can tell you right off the bat, the people who do not find business, they don't create business, they don't negotiate well, they don't follow up, they don't do skills of closing and handling objections, is because they're not practiced at it. You want to wing it? Sure, go ahead and try it. But I'm going to tell you, you want to take your business to 100 or more transactions, you got to master this. Somebody's got to call you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and ask you a question, and you got to give them an answer and go back to sleep. That's when you've mastered the skill. So let's get this down and figure out your strategy for your practice. Should be in the morning, midday, and throughout the day, quite honestly, because not only dealing with other people and yourself, but you're also practicing with the marketplace as well. So let's get this process mastered. Point number 9 is you got to master the skill of patience. Listen, we've all heard it. It wasn't built in a day. It took time, right? And the more you get aggressive with all of these other previous, let's say 8 points, right, that I just shared with you, the quicker it's going to come. I can't deny that without question. While at the same time, you have to be patient. Sometimes things just work in their time. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that represents patience and understanding that it takes time to build a strong business. Listen, are you going to go from 10 deals to 100 deals in 6 months or less? I don't know. Maybe. I know it took me 2 years to finally figure something out, and then once I applied what I'm sharing with you today, these fundamentals, okay, short of online presence, because we didn't have technology back then the way we do today. But I can tell you, in under 6 months, I achieved, in under 18 months, I was doing over 135 transactions. So it is extremely possible. Does it have to take you 2 years to get there? Absolutely not. Because I didn't know what I'm sharing with you today. And now that I know it, and knowing what I know now, this is what I would do. And I'm giving you this gift, guys. Master the skill of patience. It will come, but you've got to be consistent in this whole process. Otherwise, your patience will you'll go crazy with it. I promise you. So let's get patient. And then finally, number 10 here. You know what? We got that outer game going on, all those skills and online presentations and handling objections and closes and being patient, all those things. Listen, number 10 here says master your psychology. You got to master that inner game. That 6 inches between your ears, if you got a big head, if you got a small head, maybe 2 inches. I don't know, okay? But you do know what I'm referring to. What's between your ears is a critical area. And 80 to 90% of your life and in your business represents your psychology. It's your desire, it's your decisions, it's your why, it's your level of commitment, it's your self-esteem, your self-concept, how much you like yourself, how much you love yourself, how much you respect yourself. Even if you're failing miserably, it doesn't matter. What matters is you got to master your psychology, because it is a bitch. It's going to be a challenge out there, but you got to be together yourself. It takes work, it takes discipline, it takes a commitment to want to master your psychology. It's not about the world happening outside, it's about you, what's going on inside of your mind, that inner game, that psychology that plays with you all the time. Align with it, be happy with it, be content, be patient, and it'll work out for you. So, master your psychology. So guys, let's wrap up with some action steps for you to take. Write these thoughts down. First is to review 1 through 10 right now and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you? What's your biggest weakness? What are your biggest strengths? Whatever's in between, that's fine. And let's figure out where you're at right now. Next letter here is B. What's the number 1 thing that you need to work on now? And do that in order. You have 1 thing that you need to do right now that's going to take you over the top. Right? Once you've evaluated and did your scaling 1 to 10, where are you? What's the 1 thing you need to work on now of these previous 10 points that's going to help you to move your business to the next level? And then work down your list, 1, 2, 3, and so on. You're going to be very happy with this result, but you got to do that right now. Remember, we want to get our strengths stronger, and we're going to get our weaknesses stronger as well. Working collaboratively together, you're going to be a winner, and you're going to get those 100+ transactions a year, guaranteed. And then finally, recommendation is get accountability partners, people that you can hang around. I talked about this the other day in a recording that I did. You got to hang around other successful people, but get an accountability partner, somebody that you can work on this together with them and help each other out. Listen, there's nothing more powerful than having a collaboration of people that want to support you and help you take your business to the next level. It's all critical and it's all important, and it's extremely, extremely helpful. No egos here. Let's just help each other out, succeed, fail, good, bad, ugly. This is what a great accountability partner does for you. Could be your accountability partners in your office, your coach, your mentors, whoever it is, but get people to help you to grow your business and grow your life, and you do the same for them. So guys, I want to say thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Please do me a favor, pay this forward, as I will always ask, to your family, your friends, your colleagues, and yes, your clients. They will love you for it. And do me a favor, make this day and every day count for yourself. Now go out there and make it happen. We'll talk to you later. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. This is Mike. Talk to you soon.